of all the blessings of a mission and of all the curses of a mission, if we can call it that, there is one element that probably fits on both sides of the table, and that's companions. It's the worst of times and the best of times. Oh, you talking about companions? Some that are friends for life, and the moment you meet them, oh, here's a kindred spirit, and we're going to do incredible things. And others, it's like, wow, well, you're a good teacher companion. You sure are teaching me patience, right? Now, my own patriarchal blessing promised me I would have incredible companions in the mission field, and it was spot on 100%. I never had a difficult companion. I don't think any of them had the same promise in their patriarchal blessing. Maybe that's why they got stuck with me. But the companionships that I got to serve in were absolutely incredible. And in section 69, the Lord is going to create a companionship for Oliver Cowdery, and that companion is going to be John Whitmer. Now, we've met both of them in the past. John Whitmer was called to be church historian. Wasn't that section 26, if I remember? And Oliver Cowdery's been on the Lamanite mission. He's been second elder. So many good things that he's been doing. But what's happening here, we just saw this in section 68. Like, we need the word to get to Zion to kind of whip into shape the parents that are down there. So Oliver, you're heading to Zion anyway. Go make sure you take that message along with the other things that you're bringing down. Oliver had been in Kirtland, go down to Missouri. We're trying to run the church from two different places here. This is tricky. We're going to need some frequent flyer miles, okay? Well, Oliver's going to go down, but notice what he's told. And this is interesting. Oliver, please don't take this the wrong way. And any of us that are given companions, don't take this the wrong way either. Section 69, verse 1 and 2, hearken unto me, saith the Lord your God, for my servant Oliver Cowdery's sake. So please keep that in mind from the very beginning. Oliver, this is for your sake. This is not punishment. This is privilege. This is not curse. This is blessing. And what am I going to do for your sake? Here it is. It is not wisdom in me that he should be entrusted with the commandments and the monies which he shall carry unto the land of Zion, except one go with him who will be true and faithful. And who's that? I know just the guy. Wherefore I, the Lord, will that my servant John Whitmer should go with my servant Oliver Cowdery. There you go, companions. Now remember, my servant Oliver. I'm going to send my servant John with you, my servant Oliver. 3 times in that passage, he's talking about my servant. Keep that in mind. And if you're my servant, you'll take what I give you. And not just the what to do, but the whom to do it with. So I'm creating these companionships. In fact, if you could see yourself as my servant, you'll accept the Lord's will. But if you can see your companion as God's servant as well, oh, you might have a little bit more respect for the gift that God is giving you. A fellow servant? Wow, what a blessing. Now, my worry is that from verse 2, Oliver might not feel trusted. Like, what? You don't trust me with the commandments and the monies we're going to need to use to print them? Again, we're setting up the printing office down in Independence, and W.W. Phelps is going to be cranking out copies of the Book of Commandments. I mean, at the conference, we decided we're going to print 10,000 copies, which is so far beyond the total membership of the church. Talk about dreaming big and aiming high. Eventually, they brought it way down because there were some realities they had to deal with. But that's going to cost money, and we're going to need the originals of the Revelations to begin with. Oh, this is, I mean, can you put that in a briefcase that you handcuff to my wrist? Do I get some backup? Do I get an armored car? I mean, this is serious stuff. I'm not only bringing money, but revelations that are worth the riches of eternity. The conference voted on exactly that, to esteem these things as worth worlds. Oliver, it's not that we don't trust you. It's just not wisdom that we send you there with all of this responsibility on your own. Let's get someone else to help bear the burden. It's a blessing. We have confidence in you, not lack thereof. So have a companion. And honestly, 2 people who are trying to be true and faithful, that's the phrase, right? You're going to need somebody that's true and faithful. That's not saying that you aren't. But 2 people that are both trying to be true and faithful together, helps increase the truth and faithfulness of both of them. Sometimes we let ourselves off a little easier when we're by ourselves. But wow, have a partner that helps keep you accountable. Yeah, I'll probably keep exercising more and watch my diet a little bit better and stay more true and faithful as a missionary. Yeah, thank heavens for a companion. But part of the beauty of this also is it's a blessing that's meant to go in both directions. He'll be able to help bear the burden of this cross-country trip. But notice what will come in his way in return, verse 3 and 4. Also that he, John, shall continue in writing and making a history of all the important things which he shall observe and know concerning my church. Remember, that was his mission call back in section 26. You're the church historian. Keep it up. And also that he receive counsel and assistance from my servant Oliver Cowdery and others. Oliver, man, he knows some of the history of the church in a first-hand way that John doesn't. So yeah, ask him for help. He'll help you bear the burden of responsibility for the revelations and the money to print them. But he's going to bless you with counsel, with assistance. You'll be able to write. Oliver was a school teacher. He might be able to correct your grammar. You're going to make a history. Oliver knows some history of his own. You see the companionship blessing in both directions? It's beautiful. And even the fact that by traveling with Oliver to Zion, you're going to have some experiences. You're going to meet some people along the way. Talk about a great opportunity to beef up the oral history project you started working on. Okay? This is going to be a huge blessing. In fact, that's the blessing God intends. If you look at verse 5 through 8, also my servants who are abroad in the earth should send forth the accounts of their stewardships to the land of Zion. Hopefully by the time John and Oliver arrive, all kinds of other letters will be arriving there too. Again, John, you're trying to beef up the history? Well, get accounts of stewardships from servants of the Lord far and wide. For the land of Zion shall be a seat and a place to receive and do all these things. Nevertheless, let my servant John Whitmer travel many times from place to place, from church to church, that he may the more easily obtain knowledge. Preaching and expounding, writing, copying, selecting, obtaining, all things which shall be for the good of the church, and then more specifically, and for the rising generations that shall grow up on the land of Zion to possess it from generation to generation forever and ever. Amen. Quite the mission call. Quite the induction into the church history department, wouldn't you say, John? But to preach and expound and to write and to copy and to select and to obtain, that's what the Church Historians Press does constantly. There's the Joseph Smith Papers Project. There's the Saints volumes that have just been finished. It's amazing how much expounding can be done with history. It's amazing how much writing and copying and selecting is required to be able to do that work. But what a blessing for the good of the church. And among all the other things that we parents in Zion are trying to help our children understand, maybe understanding our history should be closer to the top of the list than we often let it. Maybe the rising generation could be strengthened by knowing just how many rising generations preceded them that rose to the level that God intended them. Perhaps if we do a little bit more of that, among all the other teaching we do to our children, they'll be the kinds of true and faithful companions in the mission field, in eternal marriages. They'll be the kinds of companions that are mutually beneficial to one another, which is exactly what God always intends.